Hello, friends. It's game day. Hopefully, I'm on my game today. No pun, or definitely a pun intended. Welcome to my kitchen. I'm Philly, and we are not making football food today, although I'm not opposed to this being football food. However, I am sharing a transformation of one of my favorite childhood dishes that my grandma and mom used to make. So let me get you all up here so I can make sure everything is working. Hi, Pat. Hi, Barb. How are you? Thank you for joining us today. Let me get everything up. Excellent. All right. So welcome to my live stream. One of my most favorite and beloved dishes that my grandma used to make. This is my dad's mom, and she taught my mom how to make. My aunt made it, her daughter made it, my aunt Janet made it, is chicken paprikash and spaetzles. And I have done a live stream, so if you want to, I don't have the link down there now, but I'll put a link below of when I live streamed that a couple of years ago. And I will, full disclosure, say that when I did that one, I was making the spaetzles the way my grandma did, and I for years have been failing miserably at that. So finally I decided to, I think it was last year or the year before, last January, make spaetzles the way my aunt, her daughter, I think often made them, which was with a spaetzle maker. Changed my life and my world. So I'll also share that video down below after the stream and tell you the timestamp where you could go where I start making the spaetzles that way. I do want to make a video of just the spaetzles sometime, but today we're not doing that. Today we're simplifying. Today we're making everything approachable, and I'm trying to kind of recreate the dish in a kind of new and modern way. Still want my grandma's recipe, still want to do it her way, and still do it her way. I make it every year, usually a few times throughout the year, because it's just like my favorite comfort food. However, I thought, let's bring some of my creativity to it. I love a good meatball, y'all know that. I especially love a poultry meatball. So let's make chicken paprikash meatballs. And instead of putting it over homemade spaetzle, which would be a time constraint, some people are intimidated by it. You, of course, could make them and put it over spaetzles. But however, I'm just putting it over buttered noodle. And so what I would say is try to find the best buttered noodle you could, or best egg noodle you could get. For me, I think I found a cool one that was in the freezer, a homemade egg noodle, because the egg in it kind of helps bring you over to the spaetzle world, because egg and flour make spaetzles. So you could, of course, if you had an egg allergy or something, you could do it with regular noodles. But I will say, to be more spaetzle adjacent, I can't talk today apparently, is to definitely try to make sure there's an egg noodle. And I'll kind of show you how we will do it to kind of give that spaetzle vibe that used to be present in my grandma's dish. So yeah, so we're making chicken paprikash meatballs. I will be showing you how she made the sauce, because we are going to be putting it in the same sauce, and we're going to talk about that. And once my stream is done later tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to be putting down, because I'm taking notes, I have my guesses here, because you know me, I'm a glutton for punishment, so I'm like doing this live, this transformation live, so we're seeing if this works, and Hubs and I will let you know if it's worthy of a second go around. But I have my guesstimations of what I think will make a good recipe for the meatballs, and we will see. We'll see how it is, and I'll let you know if I make any changes, and I will show those changes below, which is why I didn't include the measurements yet. So, Barb and Pat, how do you feel about chicken paprikash? I'm curious to know that, if you've had it before. Yeah, and where did you have it? Did you have it at a restaurant? Is it someone in your family that makes it? This is definitely, so those of you who've been following me, two things. One is that one of the reasons I started this channel was to immortalize my grandma's recipes. So this, of course, is a take on her recipe, but I do have, if you look under my playlist, I have a Because Grandma playlist that shows any of her specific recipes. And so I just love this idea of kind of transforming it into something a little bit different, and something that I think is actually would be quite easy for people to do during the week. I know we're a Sunday today, but doing it during the week won't take that much time. So I'm excited to do this. I love the flavor of paprikash, like the onion, the sweet paprika, the butter, and then the sour cream. To me, hits all the comfort notes, and that's just because I had it growing up. But those of you who know me might know my grandfather came over with his family in the early 1900s. And oh, that really makes me sound old. But in any event, that was the case. Went through Ellis Island and everything. And then my grandma, she was, her family was more Czechoslovakian, but she did a lot of Hungarian cooking. So if you look at a German cookbook, Paprikash is actually in there too. So what I wish I told her when she was alive was kind of like where that recipe came from. So whether it was more on her husband's side or more on her Hungarian or Czechoslovakian side, like kind of where it all came from is what I wish I had asked her. But no matter, I still love the recipe, and it makes me think of my grandma. It makes me think of my childhood because my mom used to make it a lot. And I'm excited to share it with you. So again, if you want the original one, I'll put the link below later of that. It is on my channel, and you can check it out under the playlist Because Grandma. So if you're joining us, please pop down and say hi. If you feel like just being friendly, you don't have to chat much. Like a lot of us like to chat much. You see Barb and Pat down there. We do like to chat, don't we? We love a good chat. But I always love knowing like who's hanging out. And Barb said that she has always liked it. I know the flavors are just so comforting, especially for me in the fall and winter. So let's get started. So this is how things are going to go. I'm going to, and I was talking to Hubs about actually earlier today when we were going over to get the turkey because Thanksgiving is happening, and later I will show you the Tetris in my refrigerator because I posted about that on social media. By the way, I am on Instagram and YouTube and Blue Sky about how like the stress of how I'm going to get the turkey again. So I'll show you my fridge. And we were chit-chatting, on the way back, and I was trying to figure out the timing just to maximize efficiency. So I think what I am going to do now is I'm going to make the meatballs. Meanwhile, I have gotten my water boiling for the noodles. While the meatballs are cooking, I'm going to make the meatballs. Oh, I take that back. See, gosh, cooking can be a little bit of a organizational nightmare. I'm actually going to get the noodles, not the noodles. Deep breath. Okay. I'm actually going to get the, what? Tell me.
You okay over there?
So,
do you remember what your name is?
In my mind, especially when I'm live streaming, there are so many little workers going, no, you got to do this. No, you got to do this. Don't forget this. So I've got like a lot going on up here. But I just want to make it efficient. So the first thing we are going to do is I'm actually going to grate a little bit of the onion for the meatballs and chop the rest of the onion because I want to get them sweating, not sauteing. I want to get them sweating out in some yummy butter. Here, I'm actually going to have it here. See, I got to think about all this stuff. Because that's where we're going to be getting them flavor, and then we're going to be adding the sweet paprika. And there's just a couple of different things. This can be done in a quick fashion, but there are things that need to take longer, and the onions need to sweat, not brown, not really even saute. They need to kind of just stay yellow. We don't want to get them brown. I mean, it's okay if they get brown, but that's not our goal. So let me first get a little bit grated for our meatballs, and then I'll finish chopping the rest of it. Yeah, Pat, he is watching the game. Pat says hi, Andy.
Hello.
Yeah, he is plopped right in front of me with the TV on mute because, but go birds, because the birds are playing. There was quite a lot of discussion about me doing this right before the game, but I told him this won't be a super long stream, so he'll only miss, wait, the birds are later tonight. Wait, no, when are the birds playing? When are the birds playing, babe? At 4?
4:25.
That's right. It wasn't about the birds playing at 4:20 because they're later, but he does like to watch all the other games. So that was what the discussion was about, because I said, oh, we'll do it at 1, and he said, 1? That's when football starts. And I said, no, this would be a great little early dinner meal, so we don't have to have a proper dinner later. This will just fill us up, and because we're that old. And so in any event, and he said, no, but the games. So he did agree that 12:30 would be fine. So he'll just miss a little bit, but he is watching, so he's not going to miss a lot. So what games are you all watching, and who are you rooting for? I hope we're giving a little bird love. That would be lovely. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just peeling my onion. I kind of want to keep it whole because I want to grate it. So grating onion, my purpose for grating the onion for the meatballs, by the way, is to bring a little moisture and flavor. Paprikash is about really some simple ingredients, and onion is one of them. So I thought onion in the meatball would be a great way to bring some of that flavor right into the meatball and also provide a little bit of moisture there. There's a couple other tricks I'm going to try. Let me specify try so that I can get some moisture in there. And so, yeah, so first I'm going to grate it. So I'm going to use this size grater. And I do have a bigger one than this, but I like this one because it has a little thing at the bottom. Do you see that? So I can kind of keep an eye on it. I might need to get a bigger onion because this is just disappearing in here. So let's see. And hopefully this doesn't make me cry. So I'm going to grate it. And that way it makes it super small and it can just kind of melt. Oh, we're almost there. It can just melt into the meatball. That's my aim, at least. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's a good amount. So let me finish that. I'm going to get this in. Take this, whoops, make sure. Sorry. Trying to get, ooh, that is smarting a little bit. Get the rest of that out there. What are y'all making for dinner today? You're probably not making dinner yet. Or what did y'all have for lunch? Maybe that's a better question. Because you're probably like, I'm not even thinking about dinner yet. Oh, woo. Ah, yeah. That is nice and strong. So I'm going to put this a little farther away from me until I need it so it's not making my eyes bleed. And I'm going to rinse this. Okay, so that grated onion is there. And I picked this size onion because I kind of would like kind of a small onion to be sweating in the butter. So let me move this up a little bit so y'all can see it. Okay. And I'm going to get the butter starting to sweat as we speak because it's not going to take long. I'm going to put this on a low heat. So I'm putting this on just one right now because I can always turn up a little bit if I need to. And I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of butter in there. So about 2 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to let that melt slowly. And then we're going to add our onion to it. So when you make paprikash, the original paprikash, it is a low and slow meal. You don't want a lot of color. You really just want that flavor, and you want everything to permeate. So I'm just going to chop this onion now and get that into the melted butter. And since it's on low, my butter is just barely melting, which is totally fine. So let me just get this chopped. And you know what, it doesn't have to be a certain size really. I mean, we love onions. So, you know, just a general chop as far as size. And I felt like using this onion, I'd have enough to grate it to get about a 1/4 cup of grated onion. That was my goal. And the rest I thought would be a nice amount for the chicken paprikash. Because remember, this onion is going to melt away. It's still going to be there, but it's just going to get sweet, especially with the butter. So this is kind of the chop I was aiming for. I'll bring it over so you can kind of see. And I'm going to turn up just a tad because it is taking its good old time melting. So this is about the size chop. Ooh, those are really smarting. I'm going to move that grated onion a little bit further away. Holy cow. Oh my goodness. I should probably just put a lid on it because that's probably part of it. Meanwhile, while I'm waiting for my butter to melt, which I don't know if you can see, let me get. This is one of the old wooden spoons that has been in my family, so I feel like I need to use it. It's my mom's, because since we're doing a family meal, we want to bring a little bit of family to it. So you can see the butter is just taking its good old time. So meanwhile, I am going to get something started with our meatballs, and that is I'm going to be putting in my breadcrumbs. We are going to need breadcrumbs, and we're going to be using ground chicken. Now, ground chicken comes in like almost fat-free or completely fat-free, which they use a chicken breast, and it comes in, I believe it's like 8% fat, and that's the kind that I got. I did not want fat-free. Could have a whole nother conversation about fat-free in general, unless it's naturally fat-free. But for a meatball, you want to have moisture. You want it to be succulent. You don't want it to be dry, and you don't want it to be a hockey puck. So those are my things that I always avoid in meatballs. But what I want to do to get our breadcrumbs ready is I'm going to soak them in some heavy cream. And in doing that, I'm going to place some fats into the meatball that will hopefully make it tender, because I'm not adding cheese to this. I did think about that, because in a lot of my best chicken meatballs, I add cheese, and that kind of adds richness and everything, but I don't want cheese in this. Like, there's not cheese in chicken paprikash, so we're not doing that. So what I thought I could do when I was looking up Swedish meatballs, that's actually how I got the idea, because I'm like, well, Swedish meatball is not an Italian meatball, it doesn't have cheese. What do they do? Well, one of the things they do is they use ground beef and ground pork, which has fat, especially the pork. But the other thing they do, and not all of them, a lot of them, is they have, I saw heavy cream with the bread. And so I'm like, ooh, so we're gonna I'm using panko because they're a little fluffier. And I'm gonna do a half cup, this is for a pound of ground chicken, a half cup of panko. And then I'm gonna do a quarter cup of heavy cream. And I'm gonna see how that absorbs. And we're gonna let it absorb. I could do up to a half cup, but you know, I'm always thinking about health. I mean, I want this to be comfort food, but I don't want it to be like a blow the week in health. So I'm going to a quarter cup, and I think that'll be good. Like, I think that's gonna be enough moisture. I'll keep the heavy cream in mind in case it doesn't seem like it's giving enough moisture, but I think it's gonna be okay. And then, so that's all I've done, and I'm just gonna stir that so I can make sure that the breadcrumbs are all touching the cream, because then they can absorb it. And we're just gonna let this sit, and my butter is melted. So we're just gonna let this sit and absorb the water so you can see what this looks like. We're gonna let that sit, and then here, my pan, I'm gonna show you. The butter's all melted, let's see. And it's angry that I lifted it up, and we're just gonna put the onion in there and just let that, so I'm at a 2 right now. So like definitely a lower heat. I wouldn't even call a 2 medium-low heat. Like maybe a 3 would be medium-low heat. And I might turn it up to a 3. So I've never done paprikash on this, so I don't really know which one's going to be the right number. So I feel like I need to play with it a little bit. And I'm thinking it's a little low, so I'm gonna try 3, so a medium-low heat, and I might need to turn it down. So all I'm gonna do, and I see I have some onions that didn't cut through, so I'm gonna split those. So what I'm first looking for is just for these to sweat. I got a little piece of onion root there. It is funny, once you do this, you can see the onions that you did not cut properly. But you know what, this is a rustic dish. This is just a homey dish. It is no matter. I'm not a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, or even a 2-star or a 1-star restaurant, so I think I'm okay with that. So they've just started getting the little, let me show you. This will be good. So if you can see, they're just starting to get those little, see, simmery things. That's where you gotta watch, where it can start getting brown. So since that finally has come up to heat, I'm actually gonna turn it down to a 2, because you just gotta watch that. I feel like cooking sometimes, you know, once the heat gets there, it can sometimes start increasing. And again, I want these to sweat. I want them to get sweet and softened. And now I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Now, one ingredient I'm trying in the meatballs is I'm gonna try some white pepper with the meatballs. Now, you can totally use black pepper. You don't have to use white pepper. But I don't know, I saw that in some of the recipes for the Swedish meatballs. So I'm like, well, let's try the white pepper. Because again, I'm kind of creating this, so let's see what flavors work well. But if you don't have white pepper, that's okay. Plus, it'll also maintain that whole like chickeny look, right? It's gonna look pale generally. I am gonna put a little bit of paprika in there, so there will be that tinge, but other than that, it's gonna be pretty pale. So I'm gonna put some black pepper in here though, just a sprinkling. And then I'm gonna put some salt in here. I think 3 pinches. I'll have to figure out how much salt to tell you to put in the sauce, because that I've never measured. It's always by taste, so that's gonna be a little trickier. And then we're just gonna let these sweat. But I am gonna keep my eyes on the onions, because if I start seeing some browning happening, I'm definitely gonna turn it down. All right, so our onions are sweating. They're starting to get good. Our breadcrumbs, ooh, they've gotten nice and moist. Yeah, they've definitely absorbed the cream. Let me see. Oh my gosh, we got some conversations. So Pat says, I don't watch sports, and my French husband only watches rugby and soccer, which isn't much of an option here except when the 2 World Cups come around. I consider myself to be fortunate in that. And Pat also said I'll be making turkey meatloaf with chopped mushrooms. Oh my gosh, that sounds delicious. Please share pictures. I would love to see that. I love a good meatloaf. We both love a good meatloaf. And I've made a turkey meatloaf before. I'm looking for a fork, by the way. I made a turkey meatloaf based on a recipe I saw on The Kitchen, which those of you who know me know it's one of my favorite shows to watch. And I think Katie Lee brought it, and it was almost like a Thanksgiving turkey meatloaf. So it brought all those Thanksgiving flavors in, and instead of breadcrumbs, she used stuffing mix, which I thought was brilliant. Yeah, it was a really good, and in fact, we haven't had that in a while. I'll have to make that sometime. Remember that, babe? That Thanksgiving meatloaf that Katie Lee did, and that I tried,
yeah, it was good.
and it was really good. So 2-hour mixture here. We've got, again, the 2 cups of panko breadcrumbs and the half cup of panko breadcrumbs and the 1/4 cup of heavy cream. We're gonna be adding 1 pound of the ground chicken. So it's the 8% fat ground chicken. All right, so we got that. And then we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients. One of them is an egg.
It smells so good.
The onions, isn't that amazing? It's just onions and butter. I mean, how easy is that? And also, how cheap is that, right? Butter and onions. So I'm gonna add 1 egg. There we go. And I'm gonna add my seasonings. So we are gonna need some salt to flavor this chicken. We're gonna do 1 teaspoon of salt. And generally with meatballs, that's what I usually do. Usually, unless there's cheese, which is salty, this won't have any cheese. So a teaspoon per pound of meat. So a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm just gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon of white pepper. Again, you don't have to do white pepper. You could do black, but I'm a little curious. Get some flavor in there. So white pepper or black pepper if you choose. And then I'm gonna put a little bit of paprika in there. And I'm making a 1/2 teaspoon. Because I don't want them to be like wow, because the wow is gonna be in the sauce. But I do want it to carry over. And again, chicken doesn't have a lot of flavor. So, oops, that's not opening. And this is the stuff that I can get that I use. I mean, there's probably better ones, but it's a Hungarian sweet paprika or Hungarian style. And I'm gonna do a 1/2 teaspoon of that. Oh, come on. There we go. Now, it was funny. One of the things I thought of adding, because I do add this to my regular meatballs, is parsley. But you know, in my grandma's dish, there's not any green stuff. There's no fresh parsley on the top. You know, that's not the way she cooked. So I'm not doing it, because it's not that I couldn't, but I don't want to. I want this to be reminiscent of my grandma's. And you know, she wasn't a restaurant, she was a home cook. So I just want it to be that way. So you could always add parsley if you so chose. And then, you know, one of my favorite ways to make meatballs is to use a fork to break up the poultry or the ground beef. It just kind of helps them not be too dense, because again, we don't want a hockey puck. And then you can see I'm just using the fork to break it apart, and I'm mixing the breadcrumbs in. And by the way, fun fact, I thought it was really interesting when I was looking at a variety of recipes for Swedish meatballs, which use a whole host of different spices. There was, and a couple of them where they actually blended the meat together with a blender. So it got quite broken down and mixed, which I thought was interesting. I don't know, like I was a little worried at how dense that would be, but I guess everyone does their own, right? Okay. So now I do want this to be mixed. I just don't want it to be dense. So I'm trying to use my fork to kind of break apart some of the clumps of breadcrumbs so they can be spread throughout, and break up the meat a little bit. I just find, first of all, I'm not opposed to putting my hands in there, and we'll be making them with my hands, but I just find the fork lightens it up a little bit. All right. The next thing we'll need when we make our meatballs is see, there was a big lump of breadcrumbs. So like you just want to make sure there's not a big lump of breadcrumbs. There we go. I think we're good now. So the next thing we're going to need is a little bit of water on the side. The water helps when you are making the meatballs, if they're sticky, you can dip your hands in the water, and that's really useful. So I'm going to get that. I'm just going to get a little thing of water here. Oh gosh, those onions smell so good. Let me show you how they're doing. I know they're not exciting, but you can see they're not getting brown. See? They're just sweating. So they're doing exactly, and I feel like this heat is a great heat for them. I'm pleased with that, okay? Again, if I start seeing browning, I'll turn it down to 1, but right now, whoopsie, right now it's good. So I'm gonna wash my hands since I'm gonna make the, oh, and I'm also gonna turn on the air fryer so it's good to go. Get that preheated, because once we make them, we are gonna be putting them into the air fryer to brown. And so I'll talk about that. Okay, wash my hands. And actually, I am gonna do one more thing before I make the meatballs. I'm gonna be adding some sweet paprika to our onions and our butter mixture there. So my grandma used to add about a teaspoon. For this kind of amount, it would be likened to a teaspoon of paprika. I like a stronger paprika flavor. So I'm gonna put, I think, more than that, but let me see how it looks. So that's just my thinking. Sometimes I go a little bit more. And because remember, we're gonna add sour cream. For those of you that don't know, we're gonna add sour cream at the end. That's gonna mute it and kind of soften the edges. So let me see how much this looks. So I love it. We were talking about these spice things and how they don't let like a full teaspoon go in. So I'm going to use my half teaspoon. And you know what? It might be fine. I always worry that I'm not adding enough, but let's just see. That might be enough. Because it's just a pound of meat. You know what? A few more sprinkles. Paprika for me is like, wait, there we go. It's like garlic and vanilla. I really feel like I can't add too much. And then I'm just going to mix it. And then what's going to happen is this, now this is where it really gets smelling good. So what's happening here is that spice is blooming in our butter onion mixture. And that's when that spice can really sing. And by the way, if you're making anything like this, my other best advice is make sure your spices are fresh. Because if you're using old paprika, this is going to be a bit of a miss. It's not going to hit the same way. So make sure for anything where this is the star, because the paprika is the star in here, that you want to make sure it is a fresh paprika. And I go through paprika really quick. So that's one of the things I know it's always fresh because I use it a lot. And Archie has entered the room. Hi, Archie. It is foul, isn't it, Arch? So Archie, we have just started sweating the onions and butter, and I just added the paprika, and we've made our chicken meatballs that we're going to be toasting, just getting a little brown in our air fryer, and then we're going to let them kind of dine and finish cooking in the sauce so that all that chickeny goodness can kind of work there. So it's meatball making time. So I'm going to wet my fingers because that will help us form these. And then I'm just looking for not too big a meatball. So, I don't know. I mean, you can make them whatever size you want, but that's the size I'm kind of aiming for. Although I do have to have it all fit. So maybe I might make them a smidge more. And if it starts sticking, I'll put more water on my hands. That's why we have the water here. Archie, how you doing? I see Archie's being salty, as usual. What did you have for dinner tonight, Arch? Oh my goodness, Archie. Barb, I agree. No comment is needed sometimes. Oh my goodness. Archie, have you been tapping the gin, my friend? Have you been tapping the gin today? And by the way, how's Amy doing? I was thinking about her the other day. Please give her my best. So they can get quite sticky. So I'm just going to add water. And we're just forming them. Boy, Hubs is really quiet right now. Hubs. So had you ever had, Andy, had you ever had chicken paprikash before you met me?
No,
You hadn't. So what did you think of it the first time you had it? And be honest.
I loved it.
Oh, you did? Even the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. But you know how I'm a little gaga over it? Do you feel like the gaga that you got with it grew as you had it more often?
I think I kind of liked it a lot.
You liked it a
up
lot at the
front,
beginning.
yeah.
Okay. Because it's not like...
I love to me, it's the sauce and the spaetzle.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's although the chickens, I mean, obviously the chicken's great
Yeah.
too.
And
But it's the sauce. The sauce is phenomenal.
The sauce is phenomenal, yeah. And for chicken, we actually prefer the thighs. Like if I'm making chicken paprikash properly for us, we don't even use chicken breast. We just use the thighs because that's one thing as I think became an adult is I actually prefer the dark meat. I just feel like it has more flavor. It doesn't dry out. Okay, I'm getting near the end of my chicken, so I'm gonna see how many meatballs I have left here. Let me see here. Oh, I think 2 would be the best for that. Okay. And my air fryer is all set. And my meatballs, a variety of sizes. I might add some of this to my smaller meatball that I made at the beginning. I don't know if y'all can see these. Oh yeah, okay, y'all can see them. So Archie, have you ever had paprikash? Okay, let me get water on this bowl. I'm going to wash my hands. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my water boiling. It should boil pretty quick because I already had it set. And we're going to get our noodles cooking. So let me just get this. Let me get the water turned on. Okay. All right, so there we go. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to bring my preheated air fryer over. It's all preheated. Put my liner in there. You don't have to, but we get a little bit worked up about cleanup, and so we're trying to keep the cleanup to a minimum. I'm just going to use some canola oil here. So you could totally fry these up in butter, and that would be delicious, but we are going to save on the calories with that. So you do you. And I'm just putting these in here, and I'll show you once I got them all nestled. We took a nice walk today in the city, by the way. It was so funny, and I'll show you this when I share pictures. It started off kind of chilly, and Hubs would attest to the fact I was complaining most of the walk about how cold I was. And then we came back, the weather had changed, and it was sunny. It was remarkable how it had changed from being quite cold to sunny. All right. So these aren't perfect meatballs. It's not meant to be perfect. This is a home-cooked meal. Rustic, if you will. No one is being a meatball. There's no meatball police saying they're not perfectly round. Let me show you. I'm just going to get a little bit. This is just a canola oil spray. You could really use whatever you wanted. You could put melted butter over it if you wanted also. Oh my goodness. You know what I forgot to do? Oh, I forgot to put the grated onion in. Shoot. What would you do? Should I?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, my eyes were so... And I didn't even, oh my goodness. This is so me. Oh, this is classic.
Can you?
I could actually undo them all.
Yeah, do it.
Look how pretty they look.
Well, undo them all.
I know. Oh
You
my
haven't cooked them
goodness.
yet, have you?
No.
Well, then just undo them.
I know, but now we're going to
And
dirty.
then you gotta hustle.
Did you hear that all? Now I got to hustle.
Less talking, more cooking.
Okay. Well, you have more washi because I just dirtied a bowl and now I'm going to be dirtying another bowl.
Just let them be then.
So, all right. Now I'm afraid we are going to overwork it because, oh my goodness. I do think it's worth putting the onion in for the flavor. Let me just rinse my hands. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I forgot to do that. It's a thank you. Do you have your stuff on? Are you letting them hear how mean you're being? Okay, so you put this back in. I'm so it can stay warm.
Before you do this, should you make sure that you have all the ingredients in?
So
I'm gonna pay for that
Cole,
later.
should I let him eat any of this? Should I let him eat any of this? Okay, so I'm gonna put our grated onion. Y'all, what did I miss someone posting? Phil, don't forget the grated onion. Did someone post that? Did I miss that? Ugh. Okay, so now we're tossing lightly in the grated onion that was killing my eyes, which is why I moved it out of the way, which is why I forgot to put it in.
Can we turn on the water?
You know what nope, I want it to stand. You know what I most wanted? Oh, that is strong onion. You know what I most wanted to do? Want a taste of this, babe? You want a bite?
No. Very aggressive.
I most wanted to make these meatballs again and again, because to be honest with you, the only reason I ever don't make meatballs is when I'm lazy and don't feel like making meatballs, like forming the balls and everything like that. So this is, okay, and I've got rid of my water too. Can I just get some water here?
Yeah.
My goodness. Okay, I'm going to get to the chat in a second, and that'll give me something to do while the noodles are cooking, but we're just going to right now, I might at some point, no, it's fine, we're going to do this. Okay, back to the drawing board, or rolling board, I should say. Now maybe I'll make them bigger because I'm just getting impatient. Of course, then they'll take longer to cook, so maybe I shouldn't be impatient.
Just make them the normal way. They're fine.
I will say that onion brings like a good smell, so I feel like that is a good idea.
Did you put paprika in
Yeah,
there?
can you dry that though? It just got wet underneath.
Okay.
It's going to make it rust, and we don't want that to
Yeah.
happen. Oh my goodness, that is strong onion. So I'm probably making these just a smidge bigger. I do think it'll be worth it though with the flavor and the moisture. So between the cream and the onion, I think this will be good. I just cannot believe I forgot to add the onion. Gosh. You know, do you ever feel sometimes like you know your weaknesses and yet you still do them, and you sit there and you shake your head at yourself like, I can't believe that I didn't disappoint myself? I mean, I did disappoint myself, but I didn't disappoint the fact that I still do what I always do, which is forget stuff. I wanted to say a more aggressive word than that, but it is a Sunday, so I'll try to like tame my tongue. Anywho, so back to doing meatballs. So if you're just joining us, I'm rolling meatballs for the second time because I forgot to add the grated onion to our chicken paprikash meatballs. So our oven's going to be a little less preheated than it was, but c'est la vie. What are you going to do, right? It is what it is. By the way, Pat, if your husband's around, ask him how you say it is what it is in French, because I had taken 4 years of French in high school, and I don't think that was even a saying that people said a lot back then, so I do not know, and that's one of the things I most often say.
It is made up of relatively simple words, right?
So what is it, babe?
Well, I
What
don't
is
know.
it?
I
Is
didn't
what it
take
is?
French. If
So
somebody took
it's
4
not,
years of
so
French,
it's
you
not,
think
so,
you would.
So, et is the verb to be, and so is would be connected with that, but there's all different, he's never taken French, so he doesn't realize that there's all these verb, I forget what they're even called, Mademoiselle Watt would correct me, but verbs, like when you have a language, like you would have, they would all change, the verb, you know, just like we have, you know,
Done?
yes, okay, I'm just gonna get these in and
Yeah.
stop arguing with him.
You're like a squirrel. You just get.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab some nuts.
Goodness.
Not gonna be gentle,
Wow.
just saying. You're one that says like a squirrel.
Holy mackerel.
Barb, he walked right into that, don't you think?
I'm going to go sit back down.
I'm feeling a little feisty after this. Okay, so let's see. So I did make them a little bit bigger. So we've got, 8, 9, we have 12 meatballs here. And we forgot to run the dishwasher, so we're going to run the dishwasher after this early lunch dinner. I
Yeah.
guess we could almost call it supper, because I feel like supper is like a lunch dinner thing. Thank you for washing those, even though you're still on my list. I do appreciate your washing ability.
You're welcome.
All right, so get these back in. I'm going to spray them one more time with, and I think I used the last bit, so they might not get sprayed, and that's fine. Yeah, it's almost out. Okay, it's all good. Okay, so I'm going to put these at 400 for about 5 minutes. I just want to get them lightly browned so they can finish cooking in the sauce. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see how they look after 5 minutes. Meanwhile, let's get our noodles into our water. Our water is boiling, and let me show you the noodles I have. And then I'm going to check out the chat. I do not want you to feel ignored. I will catch myself up. So I saw these in our in our freezer department at the local grocery store. So you may not have these. So I'm going to talk about options. And these were called frozen grandma's egg noodles. And what's better yet is when you look at this side, I don't know if you can see, like that's what I thought, ooh, those are good. And they look, if you look on that side, they're kind of thickish. So I loved that idea. So you put these in frozen. Let me find my scissors. And I believe it takes about 12 to 15 minutes for them to cook. We want them cooked fully. We don't want them, we want them mushy, but we don't want them al dente. We want them just how we want to eat them. And does that make sense? So I'm going to put these in here in our salted water. And you have to kind of break them apart as they're cooking. So we get them in. So I have tongs. So I'm also going to do my timer. I'm actually going to do it for the full time because, as you all know, in my experience, my noodles always take a lot longer to cook. I don't know if your noodles do too, but mine do. And then meanwhile, let me put this here. So we've got our noodles in there. I'm actually going to put, oh, see, they are coming apart. Here, I'm going to show you this. That's amazing. I was wondering because they were like really a big brick of noodles. But look at this. By the way, let's check out. Oh, look how beautiful. Now, even though there's that color is from the paprika, the sweet paprika. It's still at that very low heat. I'll bring you over here. So we have this on high. It's still coming back up. But look how quickly they came apart. Like, how nice is that? Look how thick that is, though. I just think those are going to be delicious. So our aim is to cook these. I have salted water. This is salted water, by the way. And we're going to cook these, get them tender, and then we're going to drain them, and we are going to crisp them up in some butter. And we are not going to be measuring that butter. Butter, salt, and pepper. So we're going to get that up to a boil. I'm actually going to just slightly cover this to get that up a little bit quicker. So our noodles are there. And then I'll remove it once I see that it's boiling. So there's those. Now, once the meatballs are done, we are going to put the meatballs in this pan, turn up the heat to medium, back to medium low at a 3, cover it, and let that cook and finish cooking in there. And what I hope will happen is what happens when you put the chicken in there, and that is moisture comes out of the meat and it creates this becomes a little bit more of a sauce. If it doesn't, we're going to add chicken broth. So we have an option, so we're just going to have to see how much sauce it adds. So there we go. All right, let me check out the chat because I feel like I've been ignoring y'all and I'm apologizing. Okay, so let's see here. So last we saw Archie make his an entrance and he was being inappropriate as usual. So Archie said that you made Norfolk chicken with roasted green beans, roast potatoes, roast cauliflower, carrot and rutabaga mash, and braised cabbage. My gosh, that is a lot of food. Were you having guests, Archie? I need to know. Archie said Amy has been working at the market all day today, so she's having her dinner now. I'll eat mine later. I had a late brunch. Gotcha. And then Archie commented when he eats roast chicken, he always buys free range. Happy to buy regular for other uses, but I would agree for roast chicken. I think for something like a chicken meatball, There's so many other flavors going that you can have a standard chicken. And I also think that's one of the things that makes this more affordable too, because onions are not expensive. Paprika, from a spice standpoint, isn't bad. Even the Hungarian, like even the stuff I get, it's not a bad price point, and there's so much of it, so it lasts a long time. Butter, goes on sale from time to time, and the ground chicken by us is not that bad a price. So I agree with you. However, if I was making the regular paprikash, I would be spending a little bit more money on the chicken. Our 5 minutes is up already. My gosh, that was quick. Let's go see how they look. I think they're going to need a little bit more time. That went quite quick. Let's see here. Okay, so they're just starting to get brown, which makes me, oh dear, oh my goodness. Okay, wait, we got problems. Holy cow.
Well,
No, it's fine. It just boiled over. And now I've got a mess under there, but it's fine. We're fine. We're good. It's because I got distracted with the chat. All right. Which is the reason why you don't usually cover your boiling noodles, but I was impatient, and you know what happens when we get impatient, we have problems. Back to our meatballs. So they're slightly brown. I'm just gonna let them go for a little bit longer, not too much longer, just a little bit longer. I think just a couple more minutes, not full 5 minutes, a couple more minutes. I'm gonna set a timer so I don't forget, because God knows I forgot about the pot of pasta. So let's add another timer. 2 minutes. Wait, what did I just do? What did I just do? 1 second, friends. Oh my God, my other timer went off. Did I not stop it? Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, sorry. Okay, we have a little bit of a problem here. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm putting it for the noodles 10 minutes because I've lost track of time. I thought I pressed enter, but apparently I didn't. And now I'm also putting the other timer. Jeez Louise. Y'all, I'm a mess. What's Monday gonna be like? Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. So let me get this on and get back to y'all. Gosh. I feel sometimes in my kitchen like I am a bit of a Tasmanian devil. I'm not gonna lie. Alrighty. So we're putting in our meatballs for a few more minutes. I was meanwhile remarking about the deliciousness that Archie was making. We're talking about free-range chickens. Yes. Oh, you're so sweet, Pat. Matt, Andy, David, Carol, everyone loves my meatballs. And I will, full disclosure, it is not my recipe. It's a recipe I found in the Philadelphia Inquirer years ago when they were small, and it's from Rayo's in New York. It's called, I have it actually down on my channel. It's called, is it Georgie? I forget the names of the two people from Rayo's. It's their meatballs, and it is fantastic. And it uses an exorbitant amount of breadcrumbs, but because you're adding water to moisten them, and yeah, water, not cream, not milk, it makes the most tender meatball. It is absolutely delicious, so highly recommend it. And it is down, if you look up meatballs on my channel, you'll find it. And if you have trouble, let me know, and I can direct message it to you. They're so good. And the sauce, I make homemade Rayo sauce, but if you're in a pinch, you can use the jarred Rayo sauce, which I know isn't quite as good as it used to be once it was Campbell's. Barbara, was it Campbell's? I took them over. So, yes. Oh, you could totally use Uncle Onion powder. So, and Pat said, yeah, Pat said add the grated onions. So yeah, I did. I took one for the team. I'm like, we're going to make this right. I'm just worried, Arch, if I just sprinkled it, it would just be on the outside. And I really wanted the onion to permeate, if that makes sense. Oh, it's time for our meatballs to go into. Oh, this is better. Yeah, just a little bit more brown. So let me show you how they look, and we're going to add them to here. Let me show y'all. See? That's good. So just a little bit more brown. So I'm going to bring you over here, and I'm going to add them. Let me see here. Oh, goodness. 1 second, friends. There we go. Oopsie. Ugh. Okay, there we go. Excellent. Okay. Get that out of the way. All right, so now we're going to add the meatballs there. And it's amazing. Oh gosh. You know what I did? I am truly a hot mess today. You too, as I always say, you too can have a live stream channel and be a hot mess. I forgot to turn the water back on high for my pasta, because remember when it was boiling over and it was flaming up, and then, yeah. So the noodles will be interesting, but with butter and crispiness, they'll be just fine. I cannot even tell you how good these smell. They smell so good. So we're putting this atop here, just like so. And I'm actually going to see if I have any drippings from my parchment paper. So let me get my parchment paper. And I'm going to put any drippings I have in there so that all the flavor stays in. I'm not missing, oh, there's not much, but you never know. Like, let's just keep it all in there, right? And then I'm going to get a lid, because I do want them to finish with a lid, because what my aim is to get some of that juice coming out. And I think that this is the lid I use. I think I just have to remove this. Yep, so it's the same lid as my noodles were. So that's going to go there, and we're just going to let that have some goodness happening. We're hoping that some of that's from when the thing boiled over with the pasta. And hopefully some of they'll release some juices from inside. And if not, though, we can add chicken broth. So there's always that. So let's get y'all back to where we were. And let me check out the chat. There we go. All right. Oopsie. Okay. All right. So now let's take a look here. Hopefully we can get this back on high. I'm not quite sure how these noodles I'm so happy about, though, because they are just such a nice thickness. So while they won't be spaetzles, I feel like they're going to give us a bit of a chew that's going to be reminiscent of it. All right, so let me look back in here. And Archie wanted to give you a slap for your petulance. I love the vocabulary, Archie. The teacher in me loves good, rich vocabulary. I should have given him a left double in his ribs. And Archie says, listen, we've all forgotten the bloody onion. I believe so. C'est la vie. Oh, it's the life. So it is what it is. Okay, because I say c'est la vie, but I didn't know, I don't think I knew that it is what it is. And Barb said yes. Thank you, Barb. So Barb said, c'est ce que c'est. C'est ce que c'est. But I've never heard anyone say it. So it's more like c'est la vie. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And that's what I was trying to say to Hubs is sometimes things, if you do it literally from our language to whether it's Spanish or French or Italian or whatever, sometimes it doesn't translate because it's not how they use the saying, right? They say it in a different way completely. But c'est la vie. So c'est la vie. I actually like c'est la vie even better than, it is what it is. And Archie said on Sundays we have roast with lots of veggies. I love it. And Archie said ground chicken is very reasonable here, $3 for 18 ounces. By the way, much more reasonable where you are than we are. And of course, don't we all know that? Because our prices have been going up here. So fun. And he said, okay, so, thank you, Pat. So Pat asked her husband, who's French, and he says he'd be most likely to say, c'est comme ça. C'est comme ça. Okay. C'est comme ça. I like that. C'est comme ça. Very nice. And Pat says, now I can see Barbara's comments. Oh, good, you weren't. And Barb said it was my phone. I had to change my handle on YouTube for some reason. Gotcha. Okay. Oh, Barb, I'm sorry. I don't know what happened either. So, friends, speaking of the noodles, by the way, so again, we just happen to have these frozen noodles that looked really nice and thick. Another noodle that is really common in the States is something called a Kluski noodle, Kluski. that one tends to be a little bit thicker, like not just wide. It's not super wide, but it's just thicker too. So it gives you more of that chew. And I think that would make a really nice noodle to put in this bowl. The other one, because we are going to be putting this in a bowl, we're going to put the buttered noodles in the bottom. Then we're going to top it with the chicken paprikash meatballs. And then we're also going to do a side of peas. I almost always, now my grandma, I don't know what veggies she served with these, because I just remember how good the spaetzles and the chicken paprikash was. But as a mom, I've always served it with peas, which did not go over great with like my youngest, because he was not a pea guy. He's fine with peas now, but he doesn't love peas. But they're a little bit better than they were when he was younger. He really didn't like them when they were younger. And so in any event, we're going to make a bowl with the buttered noodles, the crispy buttered noodles, the meatballs and sauce, and some peas on the side. And that's going to be our dinner tonight, or our supper this afternoon, because it's really not tonight, is it? But you could use just a regular egg noodle. There's so many egg noodles, and many of them are very good priced, very inexpensive. So this one, the frozen ones were not. They were a little pricier. But it was also helping me save me from doing the homemade spaetzle. And honestly, the way that I learned to make homemade spaetzles based upon something I read in my aunt's directions about spaetzles from her mom, my aunt's the daughter of my grandma, is that she talked about using a spaetzle maker or grater. And so I'm like, oh, I don't have to use a knife method, which I always failed miserably at. My grandma was wonderful at. So yeah, so I think it'd be very approachable. I think main reason today I didn't do it was because first of all, a lot of people don't have that. And second of all, it does take a little longer and it does dirty more dishes. So I'm actually trying to keep this to 2, and that's for Hubs, because even though he thinks I can not think about dishes, I do. I think about that. And God knows if I was doing this on my own, I would not want to have to wash a lot of dishes. So let's go check out our noodles, because the timing was really weird with them. I mean, these are so nice and thick. I got to bring you all over to show you this. The one thing I would not, and that timer's done. I don't think they're going to be ready though, because of not being on the heat. But the one thing you don't want to skip, and this is what I highly recommend, and you know me, I like things light. Look how nice and thick those are. Look at that. Is the buttered part after you drain your noodles. I'm telling you, crisping them up in some butter, that just takes it next level. It is so good. And that's what we do to spaetzles. It's very hot. So let me see. It's getting close. They're good. They are good. They're not done yet, but they are good. So I'm going to put in maybe, I'll check it in 2 more minutes, because my timers are off now. So this was supposed to be quicker than it was. However, with not putting the grated onion in, and then my little mishap with the noodles, was just taking a little longer than I was expecting. So meanwhile, though, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my colander so I can drain them. A bigger one. There we go. And I'm watching my chicken meatballs, and I know we're going to do this quick version, but I'm not seeing them release any liquid. So I think what I'm going to do, now that they've been cooking for a few minutes, I'm going to actually right now just add some chicken broth. So I'm going to, I don't know if you all know this about me, I think some of you do, is instead of having cans of chicken broth, I buy the concentrate. And not only does it leave more space in my cupboards, but it also, I think it tastes better. I really like their better than bouillon, condensed, base, bouillon base. And they have all different flavors, and I find it really good. So what I'm gonna do, now I could, of course, mix this with some water, dilute it, and then put it in there, but it's all gonna be going in the same place. So what I'm gonna do, actually, ooh, look at that. Now there is some liquid being released, so I don't wanna put too much in. So I'm gonna do about a 1/4 teaspoon of bouillon. Put that right in there. And I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup of water. we go. Because I don't want too much. And that should do the trick. I'm going to take my spoon and just break that up a little bit so it can become this nice sauce. And we'll check our noodles again to see if they're getting done. Oh, it smells so good. When I tell you the chickeny thing, like that's what makes this so good, is the combination of the onion, the butter, the paprika, and then the chicken. Like all that together, it just is such a marriage. It is such a gastronomic delight. I cannot even tell you. So simple, so comforting, so yummy. And for me, when I smell this, it brings me back. It brings me back to being excited about, having it for dinner, that my mom was making it, or when my grandma was making it. I mean, it just, so good. Let's try those noodles. Such a mess here in my sink. Oh my goodness. Let's see how the noodles are doing. See if we can take them out. Yeah. Let me go turn it off while that cools. There we go. No, it needs just a little bit more time. I think 1 minute. I think 1 minute will be fine. I think that'll do it. Okay. Let me just check one more thing with the chat. And wait. And Archie's blaming vodka. Barbara's clarifying that she likes to drink wine on Sundays. Oh, Archie. I wish I could give you a swift elbow in the ribs there, bud. And then Pat said that her grandma used Pennsylvania Dutch egg noodles when she made goulash, like you do. She butchered them. Buttered them? I was like, oh, Pat, you're getting real with me. I love that. Good friends always get real with each other, but you, that was funny. Yes, buttering them, whether you're doing Hungarian goulash, stroganoff, anything like that. It is like the next level. It's kind of like when you go to restaurants and you're like, why does that hamburger or that sandwich taste better? Usually it's because they've buttered the bun and grilled it a little bit, right? It's that added, frankly, butter. And honestly, we don't have, excuse me, went down the wrong pipe. We don't have these all the time. So because of that, when we have them, I don't mind embellishing. And that 1/4 cup, I'm going to turn this up just a tad. Yeah, I'm going to turn it up. I'm going to turn it up to 3. I probably should have turned it up once I added them. I should have done that. I should have turned it up a little bit. And one more cough coming. Because I really want it as a simmer. So once it gets simmering, I will turn it down. So that was a misstep in mine. When I first put these in, I should have brought it to a simmer and then dropped it down. So it's starting to simmer, but I want it to be simmering everywhere. So let me just let that go. Let me try our pasta, which I think will be done now. But yes, the buttered noodle, that's like, that's why sometimes people say, like at a restaurant, why is this so much better? It is the butter, baby. I still don't think they're done. My goodness, I'm gonna have to go 1 more minute. So the other weekend when I made that pasta, oh, it was so good, that pistachio and speck. By the way, a whole new fan of speck now. I mean, my brain has been going this week all about like, what could I do with speck? It was just so good. However, I had undercooked the noodles just a little bit. And I mean, they were fine. Like we love pasta and we like al dente pasta. So they were really al dente. So I kind of don't want these to be really al dente. I want them to be just good toothsome, so I'm gonna let them go just a little bit longer. But but yes, the buttering's great. Archie wants to start a fight. And Barb says he's got all Twitter thinking, I have a drinking problem and I barely drink. Archie is good at that. That's like with Hubs. He makes people think that he's doing the gin all the time, So, all right. Oh, I did want to share this little fun little thing before I get my noodles out. So this was years ago when I wrote down my mom's recipe, which was my grandma's recipe for chicken paprikash. So I've gone through a bunch of versions with this. So first, I'll look at how I spelled paprikash. I think that is hysterical. I put P-O-P because I didn't know how to spell it. And I put P-O-P-R-I-C-O-S-H. No one told me how to spell paprikash at that point. But I did. So I had changed it a lot. I did different iterations. But, you know, I think my mom or my grandma sometimes would, to thicken up the sauce, would add a little flour with water. And we can do that. So we are going to assess that. For me personally, I actually like the sauce to be on the thinner side. I don't want it to be too thick. So we're going to see how it is when these are done. Now these are properly simmering. So I'm going to turn it down now to 1, just to let them finish simmering. And we're going to drain our noodles. So let me make some room in the sink so I can drain them. And oh, there's my little colander. Let's get that. Oh, yep, let's turn off that. And I'm going to reduce this down to low until we get our butter in there. So here's our pasta, the noodles, or egg noodles. Leave some clingers. Let's get that all out. And then I'm going to put butter in here straight away. 1 second. There we go. Going to put butter in here. Probably about 2 tablespoons is what I'm opting for. I'm going to get that back up to medium. And by the way, our package of noodles, let me just look. I didn't see how much was in there. I think it's a pound. Yep, it's a pound of noodles. Okay. Our chicken meatballs are doing well. Okay, so now we're going to let our butter melt, and then we're going to add our noodles to that and let them crisp up in the butter. So as far as a temperature, I will probably I have it on medium right now. I will have it on medium, and then eventually I would turn it down. I just kind of want to get them going first, get them coated. I actually am using salted butter. I use salted butter and unsalted butter. Unsalted for my baking, but this is salted, so I'll taste it. I'll probably be adding a little more salt to it and a little black pepper. I don't know if you can hear it bubbling. Oh yeah, that's the sound we like. I'm actually going to turn it down a little bit. That's a little bit warmer than I want. I'm going to put it on a 3 actually, a 3 back there, and we're going to add our buttered noodles, or our cooked noodles. They're not buttered yet. Add our cooked noodles to it.
Are you getting close yet?
We're probably about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes out. There's some stuff here if you want to wash. Especially the colander, because it had the noodles, which are really starchy. So you might want to, I just put water on it. You might want to hit that because it's going to get, you know. Okay, so now I'm going to toss my noodles, the butter. I'm going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm going to turn it back up because that kind of cooled down more. So 2 pinches of salt. Do it to taste. And again, you know, I am not putting any parsley in this because my grandma never added parsley to any of her stuff with paprikash. But if you want to do that, you go for it. You do you. And you know what? Do not miss the pepper because I feel like the pepper on the butter noodles really just makes it really good. So I'm going to keep this high, seeing as my buttered noodles took so long. Now let's check out our meatballs and see how they're doing. So I'm bringing it over here.
Is there sauce?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the sauce?
It's in the chicken meatballs, babe.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, they're popping over there. Okay.
Oh boy, does that smell good.
Doesn't that smell good? I mean, oh my goodness. All right, so there we go. Let me get this here. See that? Okay, so now I'm going to take these out. 1 second, I'm just tossing my buttered noodles. Okay. Then take those out. Oh, I need my tongs. And then we're going to make our sauce. So we're taking our meatballs out because we need to get our sauce ready, and it's going to be too difficult to do with the meatballs in here. I do the same thing with my chicken. At this point, I would take my chicken pieces out. One of the cheapest way to make this dish, by the way, in its original form, is to use a whole chicken and cut it apart, or have your butcher cut it apart. All right, so there we go. Now, let's see here. I would like there to be more sauce. So if in my recipe, I would add instead of adding just a 1/4 cup, I would add a 1/2 cup. And that can go all the way in the back, by the way, because I didn't put one in the back. Andy?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to add one more. I'm going to bring this heat up a little bit. And then I'm going to put a little bit more of that base in. So if you're adding straight chicken broth, I would add a 1/2 cup. So this, you can see I'm trying to figure this out as we go, and so that's what I think.
Isn't there any like milk, or not milk, but
sour
like
cream.
a
Sour cream goes at the end. Yep.
That's what it is.
At the end, it's some sour cream. That's what
That's
you're
it.
wondering about?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I
A little
taste
bit
the
more
noodle?
base. Sure. It might be hot.
Oh. Oh, they're good.
Aren't those good? I'm going to toss them one more time. Okay. All right. So let that go in.
I just burned all my taste buds off, so
I know. I figured you would.
I won't taste anything for the rest
Okay,
of the
so
day.
this is thin. So there's a couple things you could do. You could add any thickener. You could add cornstarch if you wanted to. That wouldn't be traditional in German cooking or Hungarian cooking. I'm going to turn these down just a tad because they are rocking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of, excuse me.
You want the camera still in the?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to add a little bit of flour and water. So I don't want to add too much. So I'm probably going to add about a 1/2 teaspoon of flour. Yep. And a little bit of water. So I'm doing it right now. Let me just show you a second, friends. So I put a 1/2 teaspoon of flour there. I'm adding just a smidge of water just to make a slurry. See, I added a smidge of water, make a slurry. And then I'm going to add that to this simmering liquid. You want to make sure the liquid is simmering so you don't get lumps, okay? So I'm going to just add that here. I was just going to thicken it ever so slightly. I do not want this to be too thick because we're going to be adding sour cream, which is going to thicken a little bit too. See, this did exactly what I wanted. See that? So that, I'm very happy with that. It just thickened it just enough. Do you see that there? Just not so watery. So I will say oftentimes when I'm making traditional chicken paprikash, I don't thicken it, but I kind of just wait and see how it looks on the bottom. So now I'm actually going to turn off the heat.
Archie said Hubs is a bit of a noodle.
He is a bit of a noodle.
And then he says, here, we use the word noodle in a similar way to idiot.
And by the way, one thing I did not do, I usually take my sour cream out earlier so that it doesn't curdle. So yeah, I'm a little worried about that. So we're gonna see. So I think what I might do is I might try tempering. I don't know if this works with the cold stuff. I might try tempering my sour cream, which means I might add a little bit of sour cream. We're gonna be adding about a 1/2 cup of sour cream here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just add some of this. I think this is more than a 1/2 cup, but I don't know, that's okay. Yeah, that's quite a bit more. No, it's fine, we're good, it's fine. So I'm gonna temper it by adding a little bit here. Again, I don't even know if this is a thing. I know it is with other foods. So I'm just gonna add, because I have a little more than this 1/2 cup sour cream here. And then I'm gonna be adding this, but it helped warm it up a bit. Yeah, that's definitely more than a half cup. Let's see how much that is. I don't know if I need all that. Let me see. And then look at this. Yes. This is where the goodness is. Now I do want to heat it up just a smidge. Whoopsie. There we go. Oh my goodness. Look at that. So I need a taste. Just use this to taste. Oh, I mean, it is just, we don't need the other sour cream, so I'm going to keep that in there. It is so good. The flavor, the paprika, it's just homey. It is like a big old hug, not going to lie. And now I'm going to get these meatballs in so we can coat them. Get those meatballs in. Oh, I want to get that good stuff there too. See if I can get some of that in there, all that good flavor. I know it's silly, but right? Don't we want to get all of that? Oh, goodness. Okay, I guess that's all we're going to get. And then we're going to get these coated. So I might try to do a little bit of tossing. Oh, I don't want to flip them out. Come on, guys. They get bathed in the goodness. Oh, look how yummy. Look how yummy. My goodness. Come on, flip over. Flip over. There we go. Need to get all happy, happy. Look at that. Oh, yum. Okay. So we're going to let that come up to temperature. Just a second. Just let that come up to temperature because the sour cream definitely cooled it since I didn't have the sour cream coming up. And we're going to get things plated. It is almost time for eating. Yum, yum. Let's see. Okay, let me clear things. Oh, and I think, yeah, I tested the seasoning. I think it was salty enough with the broth especially. The broth definitely brought some,
Salt.
Salt to it. Okay, let me just tidy this up and let me get you all over. And let's give this guy plated and tasted. I wish you all could be here. And I'm really, what I'm most excited to find out about is if I hit it with the meatballs. Like if what I decided to make as far as the meatball base, if that is hitting the notes, all the right notes. So let's check this out. All right, let me see the chat first. So thank you, Pat. Pat says this looks so good. And Archie says 12 meatballs, 10 for me and 1 for you and Hubs. And Archie says, here we use the word noodle in a similar way to idiot.
That's what I just said.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that because I don't listen to him sometimes, right?
Goodness.
And then Archie, tempering your sour cream. Oh God, you're such a chef. But I do know it can curdle. So yeah. And Pat says, Andy's a great supportive husband. Yes, he is. He is the best. And Archie just likes to, what do you say in your, in Britain? Pull, you say like, I forget, what do you say? Just like to pull his leg. Down here we would say pull his leg. And I agree, Pat, we are both so lucky. Such an important quality. He's a noodle. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Pat. And Barb, how are you doing? Is your phone working? Is your phone working? Are you able to chat? Okay, so friends, let's get this put together. So I just want to show you these buttered noodles. Oh, what did I just do? There we go. Let me show you these buttered noodles, and then we're going to bring you and plate it up because I'm letting this come to temperature. Oh, it's okay. I'm going to turn this off actually now because it started simmering. I don't want the stuff to separate. So look at these. I don't know if you can tell. This is what I'm saying about crispy noodles. Oh, here you can tell. Do you see that you see that brownness? That's what you want. You want that crispiness there, okay? That's what I don't know, there's something, oh, right there, look at that. That just takes it over the edge. So good. Okay, and let's look at this. Oh, look at that. I mean, scrumptious. just scrumptious. Oh my gosh, I forgot to put the peas in.
Oh my
Oh
God.
dear Lord. Okay, let's get the peas going.
Can we?
Andrew.
Oh.
So I'm especially ditzy today.
Yeah, you are.
Do you know why? Do you know why I think it is though? I think I'm ditzy because
You're normal because you're normally ditzy.
I think it's because on my mind is our Thanksgiving meal because we've got Thanksgiving coming up on Thursday here in the States, and we just got the turkey. There's a lot going on.
Excuse me.
I think my head is on that because we're going to be at my sister's house, and I'm going to be bringing the turkey, the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, the pumpkin bread.
You're going to be cooking it there.
Yeah, right. But as you all know, this starts Tuesday. Tuesday is when I start cooking things. Pumpkin bread, cranberry sauce, like all that. And then my niece, who will be there, who's vegan, she's going to be doing a lot of the vegetables. Nancy's doing the dessert. And then my kids are bringing appetizers of all sorts. So it is a group effort, but I think my head is just so still on that. I will have to say, full disclosure, I thought to myself, why did I have this dream like this the weekend before Thanksgiving? But it's fine. It's fine. It's all good. We can do hard things. I say that to my little reading groups. We can do hard things, and we can here too. So let's start getting things built. So I'm going to first put our buttered noodles in. And babe, we're going to try this together, and then I'll make a separate bowl afterwards for us when we sit down and actually eat. So these lovely buttered noodles. Oh my goodness. Oh, just yum.
Yeah, they're not
Yum.
too bad.
Yum. I got to taste one. Lim. Oh. It is not a spaetzel, but it is damn good.
Yeah, they're good.
I mean, what's not to love about a buttered noodle? Then I'm going to get, did you take my tongs?
No, they're literally right there.
Thank you, babe. I was just wondering. It's just testing you. Okay, let's get some pretty, oh, nice.
I think we need to take you to the hospital directly after this.
Shush. Shush, shush, shush.
Having some issues.
Okay. We should probably just put 3 in here, but we're going to put 4 in here because we're each going to be trying one. Let me get some of this lovely sauce. There we go. I'm so glad we increased this to a half cup, by the way. Probably could have even increased it more. It's so funny. I will have to tell you that growing up, don't you dare. Growing up as a child, part of it was scoring the sauce because at the beginning I wasn't as big into the chicken portion, but I loved the spaetzel and sauce. That's where it all was. So does this smell? Does it not just smell amazing? I see your fork there. We're waiting for the peas. We need a little.
Seriously, we have to wait for the peas?
Yes, we do.
Why?
Because I want them to see it all put together.
God help me.
It is a pity. Life is so hard for Hubs. And peeless is fine, Phil. And then Pat says, uh-oh, I may need to stop defending Andy. And Archie says throw a meatball at the noodle. If they weren't so delicious, at least I hope they're going to be delicious, I would. I wish we had smell-o-vision. They smell, we just have a minute left. They smell out of this world. By the way, this is what you'll like. I'll actually talk about what's coming up. So coming up, we have a video release. So next weekend I'll release a video, and it is the thing that never happened last month, which was making snickerdoodle popcorn. So the video will be released next weekend. As a true procrastinator, I've not put together the video yet. I've done it. I've done the actual recipe, but I need to still edit. So, nothing like me having Thanksgiving coming up and finishing up stuff with my work as a reading teacher, and yeah, and then still a video, but I'll make it work. In any event, that recipe is amazing, and it would be a great gift. So one of the things you might think about making it and then gifting it and giving it away as a good homemade gift. So, all right, I think the peas are done. You ready? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Watch out. Wow, that was really, really hot.
You know why?
Because it's hot.
You okay?
I'm okay. I have asbestos hands, and I've just made them stronger. Okay, I'm gonna do it over here instead of bringing it over there. Woo! This was a steam in the bag one. Let me get some peas in there.
So you're gonna put the peas directly in?
Yes.
Huh.
I love when he says hum. That's one of my favorite things he does. Right, babe? Do I love that?
Yes.
Yes, I do. There we go. Okay, there we go. See that? Crispy butter noodles, chicken paprikash meatballs, and some steamed peas. 1 second. Just because I can make Hub squirm a little bit longer. Since we have that good daylight, I can show you how it looks much prettier in the daylight than it does. See that? Does it look good? Yum. Yum. Who wants some?
Me.
Okay, let's get Hubs a taste. There we go. I feel like the peas are great because you need a little color with all that beige and
It actually would have been
pink.
fine without the color.
Thank you. All right, shall we? Okay. Let me see. Whoop. You just taste the meatball first.
Oh, there you go.
Aren't they tender?
Yes,
Do you taste the onion in the meatball?
I do.
It is so good. Thank you, Barb, or Barbara, Pat, maybe it was both of you saying, make sure you put those onions in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, that's good.
And
It would have been a mistake not to put the onions.
it would be a mistake. Definitely put the grated onions in. If you can't do onions, well, you probably shouldn't be making this recipe because there's onions in the paprikash too.
Right.
But onion powder in a pinch, but you're gonna need the onions for your sauce anyway. But I'm telling
Wow,
you,
that's good.
I'm super pleased. I'm so excited. I'll get one last one because this is gonna be mine.
Oh, this is going to be your bowl?
No, that's my meatball.
Oh.
The cream, and it wasn't a lot of cream. The cream
Very good.
with the breadcrumbs, the panko, that just added a richness to the meatball. I mean, I'm so pleased with it. The only thing I would do differently is probably even make more sauce.
Yeah, sure.
So I'll probably include just what we did here with the half cup, and then I'll talk about if you want more sauce, like what you would do, which is really just adding more chicken broth. And then you might have to add some more sour cream and a little bit more of the slurry. This is fabulous. I highly recommend it. So good. It gives you all the vibes of chicken paprikash without making the homemade spaetzles at a cheaper price and quicker meal. I know it took us a little longer because of my mishaps, but other than that, like it could be done pretty quick.
Yep.
I would say like ideally half hour to 45 minutes. Like 45 minutes is probably the sweet spot with it. So good. Wow. Barb, Archie, and Pat, and anybody else who's watching. By the way, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this with anyone you think that might like it. I'll be putting the full recipe down later today or tomorrow. I'll also be including the links for the original chicken paprikash as well as the new way I make spaetzles that are in a pork and sauerkraut video or live stream that I did. So friends, hope you have a great weekend. Go Birds. I hope we get a win. We're playing our arch rivals, the Dallas Cowboys. So we need to win. We need to win. And until we eat again, friends, thank you so much. And for Pat and Barb and anyone else from the States, happy Thanksgiving. And hope you have a great time with your family and friends and can find the things you're grateful for. So bye, friends.
Bye.